So hey guys, it's Teacher Dad. Maybe you find yourself in the same problem that I did here this past week. We've been having so much snow that I had a friend of mine who needed some help with some snow on their roof, and I went to try to find what they call a snow rake, and I was unable to find one. I went to 4 different stores and couldn't find anything that was able to help me, and so I decided that I would try to make something myself. And so I'm going to show you what I came up with, and you might be able to find something in a store near you that you could use along a similar line to help you. So here's what I came up with, and we'll see if it works for you today. So first of all, what I came up with was this here, which is an extendable pole that you would find. I got this at Lowe's, and this is a 16-foot telescopic pole. It slides inside of itself and can extend all the way out. So what I found to put inside of this pole is I bought a hoe at a local hardware store. Now the thing about the pole is it does slide inside of this telescopic pole here. The only problem is that the inside is a little bit smaller, so if you want to be able to condense this down to as much as possible, so first of all I'm going to cut down this hoe. And this gives me a flat surface that I'm then going to use to mount. I found a flat piece of metal at Lowe's, and it's fairly sturdy or fairly stiff, but to make it a little bit more rigid, I also have a piece of angle iron that I'm going to put onto here, and then I'll attach this with some bolts. So that will give me a much more rigid pattern, or a much more rigid piece of metal here. So I have my snow rake finished up and made a few modifications to it besides what I had already done. I did a little testing with it and realized I needed to do a few more modifications. So what I did, and some of the changes that I made here, are, first of all, the hoe that I had purchased was a little bit cheaper, and so the head of the hoe was not incredibly firm or attached into the handle, and so I drilled through and put a cotter type key into the head of this here, so that it will help to give that a little bit more stability this way. And then I also, the sides of the rake were still a little bit too flimsy on this end, on the two ends. So I took the angle iron, bent it down, and added 2 bolts in here so that would help to stabilize the bottom of the rake here. And then I also just added some supports. So these would be kind of like a clothes wire, has several cables of wire inside here. So it's not holding an incredible amount of weight, but again, it just helps to add a little bit more support here to the 2 sides as you're pulling the snow out through. Again, I'll put links to all of this down in the comments if you or the description if you want to see any of the parts that I use to make this. So again, if you're having trouble finding a snow rake, and as I couldn't find the any of the supplies that I need, or the actual rakes to buy anywhere, and so I use these various tools. So hopefully this works for you if you are needing one of these tools. And if you have any questions or comments, you can leave them down below. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you again on the next one.